Okay. But at this point, there ain't nobody that can debate me at this point. I mean, if that's what debate is, I don't know what to tell you. All right, but it says why marriage was a great deal. And by the way, I just kept hitting them with fact after fact after fact after fact after fact. Somebody said, what's your solution for having kids while also dodging the system? See, you niggas, man. Next time you ask me, please super chat this. But I'm tired of repeating this over and over again. I realize not everybody watches all my shows. The system is already set up to fuck you over. So know that going in. You do have other things you can do. Have kids overseas. Have kids in a co-parenting agreement. Get a surrogate. Don't have a kid with an American woman. You can do all of this shit. Adopt. They already got you they already got you set up when you walk in the fucking door. Just accept the trade-offs. Take the risk if you want to have kids. But if you want to have it under surrogacy in the absence of the biological mother, you can do so. But some of you bitch niggas don't want to do that because you want a love child and you want to have kids under love under the church umbrella, which none of you niggas are churchful or Christian. You just are lonely, miserable incels that are looking for a way to dodge the system. You can't dodge it. You can beat it here and there. You can pick it apart. You cannot dodge it. It's set up for you. Every now and then somebody can get a couple of wins here and a couple of wins here. All right. But I got a couple of wins here. All right. But you ain't dodging shit. You need to take care of your kids. He said, I'm not a skilled debater. Guess what? It's okay. All right. It's okay. I'm not a skilled debater, but what you are a skilled listener. What you should do instead of typing long ass paragraphs is donate to the show. That's what you should do. And you should know that. All right. And as a person that has watched me enough, you know this, not to hijack my stream with more than 2 sentences. So I appreciate you, but take your broke ass on. All right. Do not hijack my motherfucking stream. It wasn't a debate to begin with. It wasn't a debate. You thought it was a debate. It was a civil discourse. A debate has a moderator. If you're in a debate, other people can't ask you questions within a debate. That's what the moderator's for. Was there a moderator? No. So it was a conversation between 2 men. It wasn't a debate. Now, just because he's a debater and you think that what he's doing is debating, he is not debating. Debaters have moderators that ask questions that he addresses and I address, and then we can get to the conclusion, and then people don't talk over each other. It wasn't a debate. It was a civil discourse between 2 men, and he fucking lost. All right. So there's that. And he lost so bad that he took it off his channel. All right. It was not a debate. It was not set up for a debate. What were we debating? Okay. If we were debating, all we were doing was debating what he wanted to talk about. That's not a debate. But it was me slapping the silly shit out of his ass, and it was not a debate. Okay. So now, next time, donate, you goofy ass nigga. Debates have moderators. Debate is an organized thing. It's not some people that just jump up here and say what the fuck they wanted. That's what we were doing. We were saying our shit. We were getting our shit off our chest. Now, donate, you bitch ass nigga. Next time. You fugazi ass, simp ass, clown ass, trick ass nigga. Next time, say something. But go ahead and give me that dub. I'm not a pro debater. I'm a pro Mitch slapper. That's what the fuck I do. I slap the shit out of motherfuckers' taste out of their mouth when they say stupid shit. That's what I do. I wasn't in there for a debate. Nobody said, did you want to debate him? They said, did you want to come up here and do an interview with Andrew Wilson? And I slapped the taste out of his motherfucking mouth. That's what the fuck I do. I'm a pro Mitch slapper, bitch nigga. All right. That's what the fuck I do. Who said it was a debate? Show me the title of the video that said it was a debate. Show me the intro of the video that said this is a debate between him and him. It wasn't a debate. It was me talking my shit and him talking his shit, and I won. All right. Bitch nigga. All right. You gonna learn, man. I don't take shit from you bitch ass niggas. I slap the taste out of Mitch's mouth. That's what the fuck I do. Anyway, moving on, you clown bitch ass nigga. Let me get back to the show. I don't debate no goddamn body. I say what the fuck I say and walk the fuck off the goddamn diamond. All right, that's what I do. Debate nobody, nigga. Talking about a debate. Where does it say it was a debate, nigga? It was me telling my facts and him in the motherfucking heads in the cloud. That's what the fuck it was. And I won. Right? His head was up his ass, and I was hitting him with facts. I won. And now it ain't even no debate who won. I motherfucking won. If you want to debate that shit, well, you on your own, nigga. But I won if it was a goddamn debate. I can't stand these cowardly ass bitch ass men of the space in America. You guys are some foul, cross-dressing ass bitch ass men today. For real. And I can't stand you men today. I can't stand you men today. You guys refuse to boss up. You guys wanted to go with nigga didn't hear about ecclesiastic marriages until yesterday, and y'all up here defending this shit. Really? You didn't even know what it was yesterday. And y'all niggas are looking it up and don't got no bitch to be seen to offer ecclesiastic marriages to. Nigga, if you don't get your life together, you don't got one woman you can offer an ecclesiastic marriage to. And then I got a simp ass nigga telling me how to beat child support system and have kids in America. Men are a goddamn parade of clowns at this point. You guys are a human parade of clowns. The existence of men today. You guys are fucking clowns. I give you the game every day. Y'all don't want to listen. You guys are fucking clowns, bro. Absolute pathetic excuse of men today. How do we beat the system? You got the system whooping your ass every day. Come out here and walk out here and get your ass handed to you. That's what the fuck you gonna do. Right? Unbelievable, man. The system already stacked against you in a heavy way. So I gave you the alternatives, but your bitch ass can't afford a surrogacy because you a broke bitch ass nigga. And you're gonna tell me you don't have $100K for a surrogate. Well, you can't afford kids neither, you goofy ass nigga. If you can't afford a surrogate to have kids, why you bringing kids into the world, you broke ass nigga? Because kids cost. A wife cost. A family cost. How the fuck you gonna have kids when you can't afford even the surrogacy as an option, you dumbass nigga? Fuck is wrong with these goddamn ignorant motherfuckers? Boss the fuck up. I can't stand this group of men out here. I can't stand these cowardly ass men. How the fuck you gonna have a family, nigga, you can't afford $100K? Well, I can't afford $100K, so I'm gonna have a love kid and get put on $200,000 of child support like a dumbass. Unbelievable. These EBT having ass kids. Fucking idiots, man. Today's men are a group of clowns, bro. I can't even defend you at this fucking point. Didn't want to talk about 1950s marriages. Like you were there, nigga. Your mama wasn't even there, you goofy ass nigga. The marriage was a great deal for men in the 50s. For women, not so much. Anybody can see that. And what men don't want is they don't want to deal with the modern woman. So they want to disarm her at all costs. But you can't do it. You can't fucking do it. Y'all trying to beat the system and not beat these women in the place. Let's talk about this one in here and not beat them physically. But y'all can't beat them at their own game. Y'all can't walk away and make your own fucking life elsewhere. Let's listen to this.
Everyone, when you talk about a traditional lifestyle, everyone wants to look at the 1950s, but it was not traditional in any way, shape, or form. It was based on extensive trauma from three decades of insanity, of people falling apart and then getting married at 15 and freaking out when it didn't work out well, and then exploding out of that and saying, I gave up my life to this person, and both of us from broken families didn't make it work. Sometimes love doesn't work out. Marriage is for idiots. Let's not bother. And that's where the sexual revolution comes, is women saying, why should I sacrifice everything for someone who will never love me?
Let me stop right here. This guy is saying, and I said this yesterday, the response from the 1950 marriage was feminism. I said that yesterday. I said the divorce rate went sky fucking high the minute those women could get out of those marriages. And I'll prove it right here. Because that, y'all want to use Chat GPT for every goddamn thing. But the so-called most idyllic period of marriage where y'all think y'all had women in a chokehold, the minute the law changed, them women went running the fuck out of their marriages. They got out of there because they got tired of y'all beating on them and cheating on them and having the leverage. They said, we want to get up out of there. Look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Now, another thing that happened that he talked about, which is another truth bomb, which I didn't address, but I kind of insinuated it, is that the reason why people jumped into marriages, it was post-World War II. A lot of these men were overseas. They were coming back in with their young bride ready to fuck, procreate, and marry. So they got married younger. Women were living supplementally, income-wise. They didn't have education in all of these jobs in government. That is something they latched on to later. That was something offered to them later to leave the marriages and have their own independence, which we're seeing now is at an all-time high. They don't even want to be in a marriage anymore. So the reason why we had this 1950s baby boom and revolution was because it was a response from World War II. It was a blip. It was a glitch in the system. It was a glitch. And some of these people couldn't have sex before they were married. They couldn't shack up and just live together and have sex and have babies out of marriage. So they had to get married like that. They knew each other 6 weeks. They were back off the ship. Let's get married. Boom. You're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's get married. Pump out the babies. The baby boom. 1940s. Okay. My grandmother during that time, she had my mom at 16. This was common, and they were married. My grandfather at that time was in the military. This is what people do. This is what military people do today. They get in the military. They get they're 18 years old. They get one of these barrack bunnies from these trailer park trash communities that target these men. They get married and they want to move off the base. They fuck, have kids, and they go off and get shipped off. And then she fucks Jody, and then they get a divorce. I mean, they wasn't ready. So it was a glitch. It wasn't the norm, as people say, and it certainly wasn't the norm the minute the laws changed for them bitches to skedaddle and divorce the shit out of you, ecclesiastic, abusive ass, religious right men. All right, soon as them bitches got the chance to get the fuck up out of there, they got out of there of the marriages. So again, 1950s or 40s was not the idyllic time in America. It was a glitch in the system. All right. It was a glitch. It was a blip. It was a reaction. It was a trauma response to what was going on the decade or two before. It was not what people set up. Not only that, I've been broken this down for years. Women were typically that did this were white women. Black women were cleaning the white man's house and having white kids suck on their titty like they did on the plantation, and possibly the white man fucking her at the diner. Look up Claudette Colvin, who was going to be Rosa Parks until they found out Claudette Colvin was getting fucked by a married white pastor and impregnated by her when she was 15 or 16. The Money Mindset 2025. Join us if you are looking to elevate your mindset to the next level and get your financial information and game back to where it needs to be. This is the Blue Chip Mindset on steroids. We have 80 plus episodes from the last 2 years that you missed available via playback. You can get all of those episodes. Also, every live stream on Sunday night with all of our great contributors with subjects, cryptocurrency, investment, Money 101, Money 201. Also, if you're looking to become a social media content creator, this is the group for you. 2 times a month, We give you content creator information about how much money you can make via content creation. What are the most popular forms of content creation coming forward in the next few years, and how you can capitalize on an opportunity to be a content creator. Join patreon.com/Coach Greg Adams to find the money mindset link. Let's get our blue chip mindset on. The window is still open. Okay. So this ideal of we need to go back to the 50s is absolute garbage of it being ideal. And you guys want to drag women back there, and they're kicking and screaming to this fucking day. They ain't going back to the 50s. They're not going back, bro.
And I have to be alone in a home, to the point that we have mother's helper, right, that comes along, you take it and you just zone out for the rest of the day. That's where psych meds, and in some ways, many of them started, was just to dose women up during the day because they couldn't handle being fully alone. And
well, that's the Betty Friedan, right? Feminine Mystique. Like, what is this strange thing that's hitting suburban women? They're so unhappy. Well, the problem is children. The problem is marriage. It's like, maybe it's actually you're alone by yourself all day in a.
All right. So one of the responses from the 1950 housewives, and this has been seen in television shows and movies, which you guys get as an idyllic time, and it was a great time for men, not so great for women, is that a lot of women were doped up during that time. They were doped up, especially suburban white women that were highly likely to be this idyllic white, traditional wife. Okay, not so much the Asian women, because Asian women were working in the goddamn grocery stores that they owned. Black women were working as the help. All right, outside of the house. This is the origination of blues. But a lot of these women, to cope with being a stay-at-home mom, which you even see stay-at-home moms dealing with today, they're dealing with drugs. They had to be drugged up. They had to be doped up and wind up. That was a response from the so-called idyllic 1950s marriage, until the point where this bitch couldn't do nothing but lay down and catch the vapors, and they had to go get the doctor to come over there and give them a what do you call it? Dr. Feelgood needed to come over. These women became alcoholics. Okay, and then most of the time these women end up crazy. Okay, especially the white woman ended up crazy. And some of these men admitted these women into mental institutions and gave them lobotomies. All right. Because this bitch crazy. Let me go trade her in for a young model. She 40 and crazy, doped up, alcoholic. Yep. Give her that Dr. Feelgood. And he would come over and put his finger up her pussy and play with her clit and give her an orgasm. That used to happen. Now, that was way prior to the 50s, but that used to have that. All right. So these were responses from women in the 50s until they could escape the motherfucking plantation and get up out of there and divorce the fuck out of you goddamn traditional men. It was not the ideal. All right. Let me just go ahead and show you this. Is y'all like ChatGPT? So men that keep dragging y'all back there, you wonder why the women don't want to go back there. In the 50s, common marriage issues included lack of feminine autonomy due to social pressures to conform to the suburban housewife role. You see this today. Women try to fit into the housewife role and they go crazy. All right. They feel like they're a failure. They want to get paid for it. They feel like they're doing most of the emotional labor, the physical labor. You're not helping around the house. We're seeing that today. Women that do that, you see them jump on the internet and say, we should make $200,000 a year for doing this. I clean this. And if we had a chef for that and a driver for this and a cleaner for that, this is happening today because they're enforced to do it. They're forced to do it. They're forced to fit into this ideology, and it's difficult for them. All right. It is not perfect. You're not going to be the perfect mom and make biscuits and muffins and have a clean house and have good, orderly kids. All right. She's eventually going to fucking snap. Trust me, I had a wife that tried to be that, and she put so much pressure on herself that it was difficult for her to be happy. All right. So they're not going to be happy in this situation. They're going to then start hitting the drugs. Or what do? They want to go to girls' nights out. They got to let their hair down. All right. I want to go to girls' nights out. I got to be outside. I got to social. So you'll see them run back to that as a way to cope with the idea of them being cooped up in the house all day where you think they're doing nothing and you come home, honey, I'm home. Or you see them return back to work. I want to feel like I'm contributing. I need a career. This is a response. Women typically didn't like the scenario they were in. This is why when Mary Tyler Moore came out and the idea of women working came out, them bitches ran to them jobs. I'm out. I'm not staying cooped up in this house. What other issues? Communication problems stemming from a patriarchal structure. This is definitely feminist oriented. And the suppression of personal unhappiness to avoid divorce. Okay. So divorce was considered shameful during this time, and infidelity was often hidden. So people were still fucking and cheating. This is where you get the milkman and the UPS delivery man and the mailman. And this has existed in the so-called ideal 1950s, the milkman. So you're telling me it was perfect, but one of these kids is the milkman's baby? The mailman's baby? Because he always delivers? This is the idyllic 50s. Today, it's the plumber, the pool boy, the personal trainer, the massage therapist. This is typical of the traditional household. And while you're away at work, trust me, you ain't got time to ecclesiastic marriage and watch your wife. The pastor at the church. So infidelity still was what? Hidden. Divorce, shame. Shame on you, you divorce. So they enforced it by shame, which was used against me. Even though it existed, it says right here, and domestic issues like physical and emotional abuse were prevalent and often ignored. So again, you're going to force her to stay in a marriage, social pressure to make her fuck. In 2025, how long is you going to do this before she runs? You cannot socially pressure women to fuck their man. Any man. There's a porn star right now, Lana Rhodes, that's trying to get Oliver Prawn eliminated because she said, I was forced to have sex with older men and men that were too big, and I was groomed and raped. This is a woman that volunteered to do it. And now she's saying in retrospect, yeah, I didn't really want to fuck these guys, but they socially pressured. They gave me an incentive to do it, but I didn't want to do it. So your wife is certainly not going to want to be enforced by social pressure to fuck. All right. And anybody wants to know where I got that from, I'm going to play this clip right here just so you can see. This is pie in the sky bullshit. Gentlemen, this does not exist. Don't think y'all about to do this. Let's go ahead and roll the clip. Okay. Roll the clip. Oh, this is not the clip.
Neighborhood of make-believe.
Okay, Charlie.
Hey, this is where Andrew Wilson was right here yesterday in the neighborhood of make-believe. So we'll go ahead and play that game. Here we go. Let's show you this. Where's it at? Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Where we had the instinct to have sex with the husband. Your wife is going to have sex with you because church reverend enforced her to have sex with you.
Do you think?
Okay, please pull up the chat.
Yeah,
His suggestion is to have a church reverend enforce you to have burning desire to have sex with your husband.
Enforce requires force. Enforce is a derivative of force. You can't enforce absent force. No one's saying force.
This is how your sex is going to be had in his marriage. It's through enforcement through the religious pulpit.
No, it's going to be
this
the
is
idea.
2025, and we're still here somewhere on Little House on the Prairie.
All right.
And as you can see, am I ranting and raving? Am I yelling? Yeah, I'm cutting them off because I ain't letting them get that bullshit off. But I'm not yelling. I'm not losing my cool. I'm not triggered. I'm not emotional. I'm just using what he said back to me. That's what he said. Oh, he won, huh? Oh, we're going to use social pressure and enforcement. We're going to direct these bitches to fuck their husband from the pulpit. He said that. There were so many ridiculous things he said. And he was the one frustrated. I wasn't frustrated. I repeated back what he said. Force is a derivative of force. Bro, I don't care what you're saying, bro. You said that the pulpit and social pressure is going to make your wife fuck you. Guys, is this how you want sex from your wife? That's all I said. That's all I said. But who was losing their cool? Who was emotional? Wasn't me. All right. This is my clip. Your wife is going to have sex with you because church reverend enforced her to have sex with you.
Do you think?
Okay. Please pull up the chat.
Yeah,
His suggestion is to have a church reverend enforce you to have burning desire. All right. So now he started using force and force. All right. Yeah. You can do whatever the hell you want. Right. You said that, though. I'm just repeating back to what you said. So this is not going to work in 2025, gentlemen. These ideas is not going to work in 2025. And let's just tell you from the ladies' perspective, which I find it appalling, that two men were up here arguing these ideas about marriage, and not one woman was considered on if she would do what I would suggest or him, which is mightily important if you want to get married. There were no women in here that we could say, I could take a second and say, hey, ma'am, would you want to be enforced by social pressure to fuck your husband? Okay, ma'am, would you take in 2025 an ecclesiastic marriage in which you're not married to the state and you get no benefits when I drop you? No woman was there, because if one woman was there, she would have called bullshit on everything he said. That's the point I'm making. She would have called bullshit on everything he was saying and half of what I was saying, because no woman is going for that in 2025. Only some white woman that's a stepmom with 2 baby daddies. Maybe a woman that is at her wit's end with no other options than your goofy ass.
And that's you.
Maybe you. Maybe a woman that got 2 baby daddies and 3 kids. She'll go for it, but not no ecclesiastic virgin. She got to go for that shit. And how long they been married? 3, 4, 5 years? Shit.
And that's you.
Brothers, social pressure. Let's show you 1950s idyllic marriage that the men want to go back to. Social pressures and conformity. Pressure to marry. High marriage and birth rates created immense social pressure, meaning it seemed like social self-deletion for single women. We do not have that today. We don't have this idea where women, men still hold this idea. You're going to be a spinster, a cat lady. I think women are pretty much accepted their fate. That they're like, yeah, that's cool. We can stay single. There's no social pressure to get married, especially between the ages of 20 and 28 or 20 and 32, where you would want it. Especially then consider where men will want marriage. Probably between, according to the data, between 20 and 28. But women are getting married 28 to 32. Okay. Limited options. Women were often left with few choices beyond marriage and motherhood, leading to unhappiness and depression for many. We still got this today, but they believe they have more options. Idealized image. The happy suburban wife was often an idealized and unrealistic image that hid the difficulties of many marriages. Now, do not blame me for using AI on this one, because y'all were ready to use AI all day during the so-called debate yesterday. All right, but this is true. And if you've ever had a stay-at-home wife, yes, it's unrealistic. It's not real for the majority of women. Okay, you got a patriarchal structure, communication breakdown, unrealistic expectations. The expectations was for the wife to be subservient to their husband, and they were blamed for marital problems, and even if the husband was unfaithful or abusive. Ecclesiastic marriage. All right. The one man's going to say, I can beat you and whoop you and keep you away from this and force you to fuck. All right. And it's your fault if you don't back. Suppression of issues, stigma of divorce. We don't have a stigma of divorce. We had a stigma of divorce in the 50s. We don't have a stigma of divorce today. Is there a stigma on divorce? Not really. You can graduate from a divorce. The stigma is gone. Whereas the women were like, damn, I'll be ruined and I'm ruining the family. I better stay for the kids and make it work. Hiding problems, infidelity, domestic violence, and other marital issues were often hidden from public view, leading to a perception that all marriages were happy when many were not. when many were not. This, you can judge this by the direct correlation. You can judge this. You can just take a line and go, this idyllic 50s led to the divorce rate in the 70s going skyrocketing with one change: no fault divorce. Has the modern dating landscape confused you? Have many of the standards that you heard you're kind of tired of hearing about, and you're wondering, what does it all mean? Well, look no further. Join us talking about the monetized dating marketplace right now on Locals, and it is CoachGregAdams.locals.com. You can create a free account to join the conversation between the Coach Gang members, but also on Sunday, we do a live stream demonstrating all aspects of the monetized dating marketplace. And coming soon in 2025, you're going to have access to a sample of the monetized dating marketplace course where you can get information related to how to participate in the monetized dating marketplace and or how to understand it, so you're not out here spinning your wheels trying to figure out how you're going to best deal with the monetized dating marketplace. Listen, everything and every aspect of dating is monetized. We just want to relieve the frustration that you might have about it. So the best way to do it is make a free account right there on Locals, CoachGregAdams.locals.com. You can get access to those live streams, but create a free account. Just join the conversation. I am the only one covering this conversation from this point of view. And yes, I am ahead of my time. Get ahead of the information before you're priced out. And he said, no fault divorce was in the 70s. Bro, I wrote a book on this. Yes, no fault divorce. Ronald Reagan, governor of California. He was the first state for no fault divorce. He signed it. He got the actions going. Now, the majority of states today have no fault divorce. Soon as that happened, the so-called happy wives started divorcing left and right. Now, you can blame feminism for this. Cool. I got a book called that, Feminism, The Evolution. Fine. But what are you going to do? That's what you have. So there wasn't no idealism. Them bitches was not happy, right? They want to be outside fucking and open up bank accounts and driving cars, and they needed to get rid of you. Let me show you this. Okay. Let me see here. Let's see here. See if I can pull this up. Check this out. This is supposedly a man outside of a courtroom in the idyllic 1948. Okay, idealism. This is why idealism is not healthy. This is allegedly a man outside of a divorce courtroom begging his motherfucking wife from divorcing his bitch ass. Take a look. 1948. Look at him. Take a good look. Okay. Don't do it, baby. And she looking at him. Why? Because in 1948, she had to have evidence to go up there and hang this nigga. Hanging. But where's the idealism? Where's the happy housewife and all of this shit? Well, he didn't cheated on her and beat on her and disrespected her and call her all kind of names, and bitch don't got no education. He didn't let her drive. He took the car like Stephen what's his name? Not Stephen Colbert. The other trad con, Steven Crowder, where he would had a traditional wife, and Steven Crowder had a traditional wife in one car. He would take the car and she couldn't drive. There wasn't no car at the house. What happened? She divorced his ass too in 2024. All right. He would leave her at the house. She couldn't drive, open a bank account. He would give her $2 and say, make that last for the fucking week. Okay. But this is the idealism time of happy wife and marriages were great. And we need to drag it back here, bro. It ain't going to save y'all. Right. You ain't getting saved by this, bro. Trust me. What y'all need to do is figure out how to boss the fuck up. It says right here, evolving landscape, rising divorce rates. Despite the stigma, divorce rates rose after World War II, and experts began advising couples and counseling to help couples improve their marriage. So the introduction of marriage counselors during what? The 1950s. Okay. When did marriage counselors become? Okay. Let me see here. Okay. The 1930. Okay, here it is right here. Uh-oh. Okay. So let's talk about it. The idea of marriage counseling emerged in the 30s in the United States, partly as a reaction to eugenics movements in Germany. Early institutions focused on premarital counseling and promoted stable, conventional family life, with the first organized center opened in Los Angeles in 1930. The field began to evolve significantly later, especially in the 1960s, with influences from the emerging field of family therapy. So interesting, the 1930s, but guess where it started to really blow up? After the 1950s. So look at this. Take a look. The idyllic marriage period ended up promoting more marriage therapy, more need for stability, and because men were over there acting a fucking fool. A major shift occurred with the incorporation of family therapy principles, which viewed the family as a interconnected system. This phase, heavily influenced by figures like Jay Haley, greatly focused on the dynamics between spouses and the overall family unit. So interesting enough, the 50s marriage led to need for marriage counseling. All right. It wasn't so idyllic. It wasn't the best time. It was definitely a struggle. All right. And it did lead to, divorce, marriage counseling, all the things that we have today. Okay. Let me show you this. And I'll do this and I'll do all these super chats here. Show you this young lady. This is a video going on. It says, imagine how much propaganda it took to convince women that this is oppressive. All right. We've seen memes like this, but there she is cooking and cleaning, which you hear a lot of women saying they want to do. They want to return back to this, but I think that's a psyops. They're returning back from an economic system of the workplace not benefiting for them. So they just kind of want to go back to that. Small percentage of women. But listen to the woman that responds to this. And I want you to ask yourself, to the woman that's responding to this video, are you going to get her to do an ecclesiastic marriage? And is she a virgin? All right, so let's play the video. I got to play it without the volume because there's music on this. So this is the whole idea. I'm going to have reverse propaganda. That was his idea. I'm going to have reverse propaganda to promote this to women.
You people are so good at rage baiting me, my God. Here again to remind you that feminism is not stopping you from baking in your kitchen. And women didn't need propaganda to become feminists. All they needed was exposure to men who financially abused them and then prevented them from divorce, beat them and then prevented them from divorce, genitally mutilated them, made marital rape legal, barred them from owning their own bank accounts, credit cards, land, property, and had them committed or lobotomized against their will.
By the way, this is also what he was suggesting yesterday. Just to pull the wool over her eyes and prevent her from divorcing you legally. Let's continue.
People on the right, trad wives, they love to talk about how people on the left, Democrats, leftists, whomever, have a perpetual victim complex. But in reality, it's them, it's y'all. You are committed to this narrative that feminists are attacking your ability and right to be in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. No one is stopping you. You guys, I just posted a new YouTube video. It's a vlog.
Okay, we're not going to look at this, but this is a woman that you got to convince to get married outside of the state. You think she's going for this? Right? She ain't going for that. She's not going for that. Neither is anybody in her age group or her ilk. All right. As soon as you bring that up, first of all, most of you ain't even a boss. I was thinking that what I could do is we could get married without a state license, and then what we could do is because in order to protect myself, we can do what we call an ecclesiastic marriage, and then what that means is you can't divorce me, and if you try to divorce me, it's gonna get thrown out, and what happens is then I get to keep my shit, and in fact it would be better if I lived off your money, and then we don't, I can be protected from divorce. And then what you gonna have to do is then you're gonna lose everything that we work for, and I'm gonna take the kids, and then I'm gonna have a prenup on top of that. And then yeah, so if you can, we can go down to the courtroom, and or we can go down and we can jump the broom, and you know, I can just, you know, figure that you don't know about the system. Yeah, could you sign right here? Could you just sign right here, right there? No, we're not signing nothing. Just say yes, and we're married, and this is our priest. If you don't want to have sex with me, these women over here are gonna give you social pressure to open your legs to me on certain nights. Are you okay with this? Are you okay with these women telling you by this old white man that's wearing overalls and holding a pitchfork, and his name is Phidias, and he's holding a slop bucket? Is there a way you can open your legs and fuck me on days you don't want to fuck because these ladies are told by this man to fuck you? Is there any way? Pastor said under our ecclesiastic marriage, you supposed to fuck. Well, they said it. The women over here, they're going to pressure you. Is there any way? All right. Now, how silly does that happen, bro? Y'all can't even bring up the conversation to these women. They're going to smack the shit out of you. They just going to walk away. They're like, man, I ain't got no time for this, especially black women. Black women ain't going for this. We already know this.